Today on Rock the Job, we're going to be talking to this guy about doing homework.
My dog ate my homework.
Hey, I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob.
And I'm Eric.
And today on Rock the Job, we're going to turn things around and look at the information that you want to find out before you actually even go to a job interview.
That's right.
And to help learn about that, today on the show, we have Eric. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
So why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and kind of what you do?
So I run a digital agency here in Orlando and promote co-working. I also helped organize last year's Bar Camp Orlando. And kind of just, I participate in the IT scene here, do what I can to help out and get people motivated about what's going on here.
Cool. So I heard you have an excellent story for us.
I do, actually.
That fits in the topic. So what is that story?
So a few years back, before my freelancing really had taken off and turned into what it is today, I had gotten this job lead from a friend of mine. Who was working there, and he said, oh, they're making great money doing cool stuff with advertising, and they're trying to transition from Cold Fusion to PHP, and they need someone to come in and lead the team, and I think you're perfect. And I said, sounds like the perfect job, the one I've been looking for, So I go in and interview great, and come into a second interview, and that one went great too, and and I left, and I got a call back, and quick negotiation, and I had the job. But after I had taken the position, I'd forgotten to do all my research and didn't even know really what the company did. Thought I'd just, get trained on the job and, figure out what the project was or whatever. And the more I got into the company and the more I got into their operations, I realized that they were running a spam house. And it completely blew me away how much, how questionable their legality was. So soon after finding that out, a couple of months of trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I left that position and kind of left them hanging on a project, as sort of repayment.
So what'd you get out of that then?
Always, but see, before that job, I had always, done all my research, knew exactly, where the company was in the marketplace, what their track record was, what they did, who the players were, what their executive team looked like. And the one time that I'd forgotten to do that, and, I walked blindly into a position, kind of with the dollar signs flashing, and forgot that I actually, want to work at a place that I care about and, work for products and on projects that, really mean something. So, when you forget to do your homework, then you kind of, you end up working for a criminal.
That sucks. Nick, what other tips do we have? Or what do you have?
Well, when you're doing your homework, there's a bunch of tools that you can utilize to find out what this employer is doing exactly. You can go on LinkedIn and friend up a couple of people that are in the company, maybe talk to them that way, check everybody out on Facebook. These employers might be doing some keg stands themselves. You can also go to Google Blog Search, which is at blogsearch.google.com. And you can search the company and kind of find out, what people are saying about them. Maybe they're saying good things, maybe they're saying bad things. Do you guys have anything to add?
Because if you can find out what their customer service track record is, you can probably predict how happy you will be in that position, especially if that position is to talk to those customers. Because if your boss isn't happy because the customers aren't happy, and they're both talking to you, you're going to be miserable at that job.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So, Rob, I understand that you also have a little bit of a story to share.
Yeah, I have a horrible job interview story, right? So I had one of these job interviews where it lasts all day, and you talk with literally like all the major people in the company, vice president, etc. And at the end of the day, I sat down with this one gentleman. He was asking me questions, some of these like mind bender, how many gas stations in the U.S. type of questions. And the last question he asked me was, do you know who I am? And I couldn't remember for the life of me who he was.
Let me Google that.
Yeah, right? And it ended up being the CEO of the company. So needless to say, I didn't get that job. And not only that, when I walked in the morning, one of my tips here is if you can find out how the people dress at the place, that's a huge, huge deal. Because they were like jeans and t-shirt type of company, and I walked in a full suit, and that just started things off badly that day.
That's embarrassing.
Yes.
Well, that brings us to the question of the day. And because we have a guest today on Rock the Job, the guest gets to ask the question.
Cool. So, what's the biggest surprise you've ever had, either in a job interview or after you've taken a position? Like, what was the most just out of the blue thing that you ever thought would be possible that you walked in and basically interviewed for?
Very cool. Well, thank you for being on the show, Eric.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. Hit us up on Facebook. Leave a comment. Leave a video comment if you're really, getting into it.
You got a webcam.
we know you got a webcam.
Yep.
Leave us a comment. We want to hear what you are thinking. And until next time, get out there and rock the job.
Rock it!